Hello and welcome back to The Drag Detective, where today we are going to be assessing the cast of All Stars 11. Now, we're not done with All Stars 10 just yet. We have 2 episodes left, but the cast of season 11 has just gotten back. We know exactly who is on, and I thought now would be a good time to just kind of look at the cast, look at who they chose, look at what these brackets look like, and just kind of give some predictions, give some thoughts on who they chose. I did do my own cast, like Dreamcast video a couple weeks ago, so we can see what overlap there is. And this video will contain no elimination spoilers at all. I will just be theorizing, I'll just be doing some predictions, but it won't be based on any actual elimination spoilers. So no need to worry about that. The only things that we will be discussing are the cast, the brackets, and like somewhat the format, but it's basically just the same format as All Stars 10, so there won't be any craziness there. I do ask that if you do know elimination spoilers or format change spoilers or anything like that, please do not put that in the comments. Not everyone wants to know everything about the season. A lot of people just want to know who's on, and that is good enough for them. And that will be what this video is. So without further ado, let's start looking at this cast. Like I mentioned, this is the same bracket format as All Stars 10. And I feel like it worked, sort of. I feel like the first 2 brackets of All Stars 10 people lived for. And then once production, got their hands involved, people liked it a little bit less. I do think this is a good format. I think that it's asking a lot less of the queens. If this was a previous season, you could make, 30 incredible outfits, but if you go home first, then, you're not going to show off any of them. In this format, you only have to make, a couple outfits, and all of them will be shown. So I do think that is a lot less work for the queens, a lot more incentive to come back. At least you got to show off your outfits. You got 3 episodes. Like, everyone is guaranteed some time in the spotlight. I do think that time in the spotlight is very short. Like, I feel like, the people who didn't move on from group 1, Olivia and Deja and Phoenix, like, we've all kind of moved on, you know what I mean? Like, I do think you kind of get swept to the side very quickly, but it's still a good 3 episodes to reintroduce yourself to the audience, even if you don't make it to the next round. So I'm okay with this format. I just want production to be less involved with the next one, because truly, if we're gonna let this be strategic, if we're gonna let the queens kind of make alliances and stuff, just forcing through the people that you want to go through by giving them challenge wins, it's kind of messing with that. You know what I mean? Like, if we really want to see the strategy and we really want to see the queens fighting to make it through, then let's keep it fair, and that'll be more interesting to watch, as we saw with the first 2 brackets. I also saw a lot of people say that if they did this format again, they would want to see, like, themed brackets. Like, have a villains bracket, have a seamstress bracket, have, like, a comedy bracket. I think that could also be kind of a cute idea. That's clearly not what they did for All Stars 11, but if they bring this back for All Stars 12, I think that could actually be super, super cute. Or you could have, like, an old school bracket, a mid-school bracket, and a new school bracket. Like, there's so many possibilities with this, and I feel like, we'll get into it, I feel like this cast is a little bit on the safer side, even compared to All Stars 10, but I'm still excited to see what they bring, so let's break it down. In our first bracket of 6 queens, starting off, we have A'keria Chanel Davenport. Now, A'keria was on both season 11 and All Stars 6, and if you remember, she was also in my cast, my Dreamcast video that I did, and A'keria, to me, is drag excellence. Like, looking at her Instagram, she doesn't have the most, like, beautiful, insane, high-quality photo shoots of her looks, but her looks are insane, like, next level, and I know that she makes a lot of them. So I would be so excited to see her in a design challenge. I would love to just see more of her personality. I feel like she was so underutilized on All Stars 6 because she didn't get the best reception on her original season. I feel like other people just took precedence over her on All-Star 6. You know, like when you have Pandora Box, you have Ginger Minge, you have Eureka, you know, you have these queens that production clearly really, really likes. Akira just kind of got swept to the side and thrown into the bottom a lot when she didn't deserve it. But if you remember back to Akira on season 11, she was a very consistent queen. She only ended up in the bottom once. She was in the top a lot. She won 2 challenges. Her looks were always stellar. She truly is, I think, the full package because she is so funny. She has insane, like, top tier level drag looks, and she can perform the house down. So I see her as a huge threat coming into this season, as long as production also sees her as that. Like, I could also kind of see her being swept aside like she was in All-Star 6, but I feel like if they're bringing her back, it's because they see something in her, and I would hope on her 3rd time that they wouldn't overlook her like they did the 2nd time. My worry for Akira on this season is I'm not sure if she's going to play ball or play the game the way that other queens will. We saw in All-Star 6 that when, you know, the huge twist came in, the lip sync your way back into the season, she decided not to. And I think that was because she kind of saw the writing on the wall. She saw that production was not living for her. She was not in their end game plans. I'm pretty sure that's why she was like, yeah, I'm going to step out. But production loves queens that play the game, that play ball, that, you know, roll with the punches. And I'm not saying that they're going to hold that against her, but I'm just saying that I'm not sure Akira is going to be playing as dirty as some other people will. I just don't know if that's, like, in her. And I feel like that could be potentially what is holding her back if other queens are getting ahead by, you know, strategizing with the points. You know, if now that we've seen this format done before, it's only going to get more intense from here because people see what worked, what strategies worked in the past. They formulated things that can work that weren't done on All Stars 10. So I think the strategy is going to be upped even more on All Stars 11. And I hope that Akira can keep up with that. But regardless, I am so excited to see Akira back. I think she is so underrated in this fandom. And I hope this is her time to really just, like, show off what she does and get the flowers that I think she deserves. Up next from season 16, we have Dawn. Now, Dawn was kind of an interesting character on her season. Preseason, I really thought she was going to, like, stomp the girls. Like, I thought she was going to be the fan favorite. I thought she was going to be winning challenges left and right. And she kind of didn't make the hugest impression on the season. She was great in the confessional. She had lots of shady confessionals. But she kind of, most of the time, was just kind of in the middle when it came to performance. She had some great runways. She had some runways. She had some okay performances, but she was never, like, the standout bitch, like I think a lot of us were expecting. But what I will say is Dawn has really taken advantage of the platform that she was given from the show. She has a YouTube channel, which is really funny. I think it really shows off her personality. She has been on the pit stop and was a fantastic guest. I'm hoping that Dawn comes back into All Stars and sees all of the potential that she had on her original season and what people really liked from her and capitalizes on all of that. I think she is a shady bitch. I think she's going to be making the deals and making the alliances. I see her really taking advantage of the format because she's not afraid to be a little villainous and be a little chaotic. And also, I feel like in the look department, she will have it on lock. Like, she has the most beautiful, ethereal look. She knows who her character is. She is branded. And I think that is all really, really great for her for an All-Stars. I almost wish she waited one more year just because, I mean, she really hasn't been off the show for that long. You know, I really want these girls to, you know, take advantage of gigging, take advantage of, you know, all the experience you get on the road and really utilize that and capitalize on that before going back. Like, sometimes I think it makes sense to come right back. Like, I feel like Lydia made sense to come right back. I feel like she almost had it all together on season 17, but I feel like she learned a lot about herself and her drag there, and we saw that she was very clearly able to kind of shift gears and figure out what works for her in the competition setting on All Stars 10. I'm hoping that's the story that we get with Dawn, But I also am like, maybe another year could have been beneficial to her. Regardless of how she does in the actual competition, I expect her to be a huge presence in the confessional, in the storylines. I think she's going to be messy boots. The big thing for Dawn that I think she needed to improve on was her performance ability. We saw her get absolutely stomped by Morphine. We saw her basically give up in the eliminated queen Lollapalooza. She's like, I'm not going to win this, so let me just like make sure one of my friends moves forward. And in order to like get extra points in this format, you need to be able to win lip syncs. So I really hope that she has kind of harnessed her abilities a little bit better on the road, doing the gigs. Because I really just want to see Dawn like serve it to us in a lip sync this season. Up next, we have right off of season 17, we have Lucky Stars. And I'm just going to be so real. I don't think this is the program for Lucky. I don't think Lucky's drag fits in with what Drag Race is asking for. Drag Race has such specific standards and kind of expectations for their drag, and it really does kind of put these queens into a box. And Lucky's drag is all about like not fitting into that box whatsoever. And that's what led to her being the first out on her season is they asked for give us glamour, give us eleganza. And that's just not what Lucky does. And so I really feel like this type of show really just puts her into a box that she doesn't belong in. I understand why they would have her back because there was so much potential, because she is so good at drag, and it's shocking that she was a first out, but she was only a first out because the show has very strict ideas of what drag can be and what they ask for in the people that come on the show. So if Lucky is going to succeed here, it's going to be because there's no like strict runway category or challenge like that. But like I just don't know that this is what Lucky is going to excel at. Like I feel like even on Dragula she would be kind of put into a box. Like I just don't know if her drag works in a competition setting like this. I think she's a lovely human. I adore her drag. My worry is just that her drag hasn't changed. You know what I mean? Like, she's still that wacky, insane bitch that is wearing the most weird things you could possibly imagine. And when Drag Race is asking for, like, a very specific category, for this challenge, we need you to look this very specific way, I just don't know if Lucky is able to bend or should be expected to bend her drag as far as it's asking her to. So, am I excited to see more looks from Lucky? Yes. Do I think that she's going to excel at this specific program? No. And I think that has more to do with the show itself and what it's looking for rather than Lucky and what she's bringing to the table. Up next, we have from season 2 all the way back in 2010 or 2009, 2010. And All Stars 3. She's also been a lip sync assassin on All Stars 5. We have Morgan McMichaels. I'm so happy to see Morgan here. She was on my short list for my cast for the season. She didn't make the cut, but she's someone that I really have wanted to see back. And I think this is the format to have her because as we saw in All Stars 3, she is messy. The only reason she went home first on that season is because she admitted to Dayla that she was going to send the best home. And looking at her runway package from that season, she had some insane looks planned. I think she would have been so much fun to watch on that season. And I feel like here, she can really like harness all of that evil energy she has in her soul to her benefit. Like, I feel like Morgan is so professional. She is a staple of LA drag. And you don't stick around that for as long as she has if you are not professional, if you are not easy to work with, all of those things. But put her in a competition and Morgan will destroy anyone in her sight. She is incredible at lip syncing. So if she does win challenges, I think she's going to be really, really rough to beat in that top 2 lip sync. I think she will be cutting the deals. I think she will be making the alliances. I think Morgan is going to thrive in this format. The question is, can she win the challenges? Because we saw her win a challenge on her first season, and then she just kind of like middled out. She bottomed a couple times. And then on All Stars 3, she went home first, obviously. So the real question is just, can Morgan excel in these challenges? And I hope that she can, because I want to see more lip syncs from her. I would love to see her move on to the next round. I just feel like Morgan is such a drag queen's drag queen. You know what I mean? Like, she has such a specific style. She has such a incredible personality for TV, and I want her on for as long as humanly possible. So I'm so happy to see Morgan here. Up next, from season 16, we have Morphine Love Dion. Now, she was on my cast, and I'm so excited that she made the real cast. I think she's someone who, upon watching herself back, can really see where she kind of made the mistakes on her season. And she's done so much already. You know, like, she's been touring like crazy. She's been doing Drag Race Live. She's been through so much. She went through a really, really rough car accident. Like, I just feel like she's probably grown so much as a person since season 16. And I want to see that person back on my TV. She is shady. She is the narrator of the season. She has probably a top 5 mug of all time on Drag Race. I told the story of when I saw her mug in person, and it literally, like, my jaw dropped. I was speechless. She is just perfect for this show. You know what I mean? Like, she gets it. I think she will play the game. I think she could win challenges. She is a wonderful performer. I see Morphine absolutely killing this season, and I'm really excited to see what she brings, because I think her runway game will be better. I think her challenge performances will be better, and I see her being a messy bitch. So honestly, I'm just excited for the good TV that she's gonna bring. And last up from this group, we have, all the way back from season 2, Mystique Summers Madison. Now, it's hard to judge, like, how will she do on this season, because she didn't last very long on season 2. You know what I mean? Like, Nicole Paige Brooks went home, and then Mystique Summers Madison went home. And after Mystique Summers Madison went home, Kylie Sonique Love went home. So she's in between one queen who came back, absolutely slayed, absolutely killed it, and won an All-Star season. And the other came back, and while the fans adored her, she just wasn't able to adapt super well to the new Drag Race and what is expected, and kind of did a bit poorly overall. So there's evidence that, you know, these early outs from season 2, they can do incredibly or not incredibly. And it's going to be interesting to see which group Mystique falls into. It's also interesting because if you look at Mystique's Instagram, like, she doesn't have that, like, polished Instagram that Drag Race really likes the queens to have. So she really is, I think, the biggest wild card on this group. I don't think she's someone that the fandom has followed very closely in their career since. I don't think that we know what's been on in her life since her season. So I think we're going to learn a lot more about her, a lot more about what her drag looks like now. And I just think it's going to be really interesting to see what she does bring. I also think it's interesting that she's here with Morgan, and they had probably the first, like, intense fight of Drag Race with the bitch I'm from Chicago, and, you know, they almost got physical. So I think it's going to be really fun to see them back in the room together, like, over a decade later, like 15 years later. And I think that's exactly why they're both in this bracket together. And officially now, every single person from season 2 that has been able to has been on All Stars. So that is an entire season of queens that they have now gone through. Mystique is the last one. So I hope that she brings it. I did do a video a while back where I was going through people who hadn't been on and kind of giving my expectations, and I did say I didn't expect Mystique to be on, which she then commented on that video and was not, you know, thrilled. So Mystique, I ate my fucking words. You know what I mean? Like, congratulations, you made it to All Stars, and I'm excited to see what she brings. But I think that she is the biggest question mark of this group. I think she is the wild card of this group, and I have no idea what to expect from her. So looking at these 6 queens, who are the 3 that I see moving on? For me, I think if I had to put money on it, I would say Akira, I would say Morgan, and I would say Morphine. I think those are the 3 that I see doing the best in the challenges. And specifically for Morgan and Morphine, I also see them getting points from the strategy as well. I see them playing the game. I see them forming alliances. those are the three that I have the most confidence in from this group. So overall, I'm excited for this group. I think there's people that have the opportunity to really break expectations and come out of the blue like swinging. Like, I would love for Lucky Stars to just like kill it. I would love for Mystique to be like playing a Kylie. So I think that this is a cute group. There's not a ton of relationships, besides Morgan and Mystique, who obviously are going to come in with a storyline. The only other queens that for sure know each other are Morphine and Dawn. Morphine sent Dawn home, but they also don't have like a huge relationship that we know from the show. So it'll be interesting. I think we'll see some new relationships form. I'm excited for this bracket. So now we will be getting into bracket 2, and this might be the bracket I'm most excited for, maybe, potentially. So starting off, we have a queen who put this into the universe basically a decade ago, and finally is getting her chance to come back. It is April Carrion from season 6. She obviously went home very early on that season, but she showed so much potential, and I'm honestly shocked that it took this long for her to come back. She is beautiful in drag. She is very beautiful out of drag, and I'm just so happy that she finally got her moment after willing All Stars 2 into existence at the season 6 finale. So in the years since season 6, April has been, I feel like, everywhere. Like, I feel like she's been constantly booked. She has done things with the show. I think for Latin Heritage Month, she did like a cover shoot with them. So she has really just been around, and I'm excited to see what she brings. It's been so long since her season. It's been over a decade since season 6, which is crazy. And she's definitely one of these question marks. She, I think, could absolutely come in and bring these insane runways and show off her incredible personality and absolutely annihilate. Or she could come back and, maybe not do as well as we were all hoping that she does. And I don't know which way it's going to go. I obviously wish and hope for her to come back and just kill it, because she has such a wonderful personality. Her drag is beautiful. She has everything it takes. I just hope that she's able to kind of do better in these challenges than she was on her original season. Another kind of wild card pick, and someone I'm surprised to see back this soon, is Aura Mayari. Now, Aura did get a lot of hate on her season. People did not vibe with her drag. People did not vibe with her. She had a challenge win that was heavily contested, and then she went home right after. And I feel like from season 15, there's just so many incredible queens that the fandom lives for. I'm surprised that the show brought Aura back as quickly as they did. But I think she has a huge opportunity here to change the narrative around her drag, around her persona. I think that people really got annoyed, kind of like with Alyssa Hunter, how it's like, we get it, you're hot. Like, we get it, girl. You're the trade of the season. Like, we know. If she comes back with that energy, I think people will be very annoyed. But I think if she comes back and shows us more of her, shows us more of what's behind the muscle, I think people will be open to more Aura on Drag Race. I think she has beautiful looks. I don't know if she was ready for the show when she went on, because basically anytime you asked her to be funny, anytime you asked her to show some personality, she just wasn't able to. So I hope that she was able to look back, see that was a huge issue, and just like let go and have some fun this season. She was also dealing with an injury while she was there, so I don't think she was able to fully show us her full performing abilities. So I hope that we see an Aura that is healthy, that is happy, and that is ready to take on anything these challenges throw at her. And I hope the fandom gives her a fair chance, a fair second chance. And I know that like when people look at this cast, she's going to be one of those queens that people are not thrilled to see back just being 100% real. And I hope she's able to break those expectations. And I hope she's able to make the fandom fall in love with her, because she is a beautiful queen with beautiful looks and a beautiful story to share. She just needs to let us in, I think, a little bit more than she did on season 15. Up next, we have a queen who people have been begging to have back for many, many years at this point. and it is Crystal Method. I am shocked it took this long. I am sure she's been asked for every All-Star since her season. So it makes me excited that this is the season that she's on, because to me, it makes me feel like she is ready and she feels like she's grown a lot. She feels like she's improved where she can and she's ready to come back and compete. I would be shocked if Crystal does not slay this season. She has such a wonderful personality that just kind of like flows off of her. RuPaul is obsessed with her. The judges are obsessed with her. And unlike Lucky Stars, I think that Crystal is more able to warp her drag a bit to what the challenges are asking for, but still stay super true to Crystal. You know, she had some insanely incredible runways on her season, and in the years since, her looks have gotten even more elevated, even more weird and wonderful. So I don't even know where Crystal necessarily needed to improve besides maybe comedy, but I feel like we saw her improve on comedy throughout season 12. So I really think that she is the full package. I would be so shocked if she didn't slay everything. And I think the fans are going to lose their mind when they see Crystal back on their screens for this season. So she has a lot of expectations on her, but I'm low-key not worried about her. Like, I'm not worried that she's not going to be able to meet those expectations. Because just watching her journey, watching, you know, all of the things she's done since her season, like, she very clearly is capable of holding the heavy weight of expectations on her shoulders. And I'm just, you know, she's just like a ball of sunshine. She's on the screen and you can't help but smile and can't help but fall in love with her. So I think she's going to add so much fun to this season, and I'm so excited to see what she brings. She was on my Dreamcast, and so is this next queen. It is one of my favorite queens to ever be on this show, Selena Estidis. She just was so much fun, and I think she got so much hate. I think people were so rude to her. They were so unfair to her. And I hope that this is the season that people who didn't get what Selena was doing on her season get Selena. Because she is just such good TV. I want her on Big Brother. I want her on Survivor. I want her on The Traitors. I want her on everything. She's just so much fun to watch. And she has this kind of just like flippant energy. Like, she knows she's wild. She knows she's insane and she doesn't care. And that's what makes for a great reality TV character. I think that her looks have improved a lot since her season. That was kind of the only issue she had, was her looks, because she was hilarious. She had incredible performances. Whenever she was in the bottom, she was going to give you a wonderful lip sync. And just kind of watching her journey since the show, you know, she was featured on Big Brother for some random reason. She's been on every podcast imaginable. She's been on the Pit Stop. And I feel like she's been very warmly received in all of those areas. So I think that the fandom might get her a little bit more now. And I think that now that the runways won't be an issue, now she has all these resources, so much more money, I think that this could be her moment to really shine. And if I had to pick someone that I want to just come out swinging and kill this season, it's Selena. Because, like, her drag just speaks to my soul. Her energy speaks to my soul. Her personality speaks to my soul. She is just that bitch to me. And I want her to be known as, like, a Drag Race legend, because I think that she has it in her. So if people are commenting rude things about Selena, fuck you, bye. So, up next, we have potentially what I think is going to be a controversial pick. I think there's going to be a lot of opinions about it. We have Silky Nutmeg Ganache from Season 11, All-Star 6, and Canada vs. the World Season 1. She's a queen who's made the finale twice, but lost both times. And she's... How do I say this? I feel like her story on Drag Race is over. And I felt that way about Ginger. You know what I mean? I feel like Ginger had such an arc on her first 3 seasons where she started, she killed the competition, but she was really disliked. Then she came back and didn't do super well, but she came back for a 3rd time and just killed the competition. We saw the fully realized Ginger Minge. And that felt like a completed story. So, like, seeing Ginger come back again on All Stars 10, I think part of the reason why she's getting so much hate is because her story felt over. Like, people, I don't think, needed another Ginger Minge, at least this quickly, back on Drag Race. And I feel like Silky Nutmeg Ganache has kind of a similar story where she did super well in her first season but was heavily disliked. She came back for All Star 6 and went home early but absolutely killed that lip sync Lollapalooza to come back and really gained a lot of favor back with the fans. And then she came back for Canada versus the World, slayed the competition, was beloved by the fans, made it all the way to the end. People felt like she should have won that season, me being one of those people. But that just felt like a completed arc, you know what I mean? So, like, the only way that Silky coming back would be satisfying at all, again, is if she wins. That's the only thing she has left to do, is win. And the issue is when you have all of these other queens who either didn't do well in their first season or weren't received super well in their first season, and they're all on their second time, having Silky here on her fourth, it's an outlier. It's the same outlier that it felt like with Ginger on season 10. And for me, I see production pushing Silky like they pushed Ginger. Because if you're going to bring someone back for a fourth time, they better do good. It would be the worst if they didn't do good. It would be really bad for their career if they didn't do well. Good? Well, I think it's well. And I think Drag Race knows that. So I'm not thrilled with this choice. I love Silky Nutmeg Ganache. I think she is so much fun. She's such great TV. But, like, save her for a Legends season. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many incredible queens that I would love to see come back for a Legends-themed All-Stars. Save them for that. Because I don't know if she fits in with the rest of this cast because she is such an outlier. Regardless, she's going to be fun to watch. I'm sure she's going to do well. She's going to have great runways. I just feel a little bit bad for the other girls because she's for sure taking up one of those spots in the second round that it's like, so it's going to be like, all right, now there's only 2 spots left. You know what I mean? It felt that way with Ginger, and I feel like it's going to feel that way with Silky as well. The last person from this bracket is another queen who is an early out on season 6, and it is Vivacious. Now, Vivacious has been referenced so many times. You know, Ornacia has made appearances. Vivacious has made appearances. Ariana Grande made an appearance as Vivacious. Like, she has been around. So to see her finally get another shot seems correct. It feels correct. You know, she has a very distinct club kid type of drag that we don't really get to see all the time on the show. I think she brings something very unique. She has a really fun personality. It's just like with April, though. Like, will she excel at the challenges this time, or will it be the same thing where she just wasn't able to really bring it? We know the runways are going to be insane in the best way. I just hope she's able to slay the challenges because, you know, I hate that some of these early outs come back for a second time and don't do well a second time, you know, like Nicole Paige Brooks, like Phoenix, like Naysha Lopez, you know what I mean? There's been a couple. There's definitely early outs that come back and kill it, like Vanessa Vanjie Mateo on season 11, like James Mansfield, like Kylie Sonique Love. But for each of those, there's also another early out that does poorly again. And I feel like the fandom just kind of writes those queens off. When really, like, just because you're not good at Drag Race doesn't mean you're not good at drag. So I hope for all of these early outs in the season that they're able to show a lot, that they're able to bring a lot, that they get some more support, that they're reintroduced to the fandom. And I'm just rooting for all of them because I always want to see them pull a Kylie rather than pulling a Naysha. You know what I mean? So looking at this bracket as a whole, there are so many people I'm so excited to see back. April and Crystal and Selena and Vivacious specifically, but I would love for Aura Mayari to really have a comeback moment and really slay and really kind of change her narrative. And obviously, I love Silky, but she's going to make it through. You know what I mean? So I would rather root for some of these queens that would be unexpected to make it through or would be like huge for them to make it through. Like a Selena, like a Vivacious, like a April, like an Aura. And I feel like that's also part of the issue when bringing back someone like a Ginger, someone like a Silky, someone like one more in this third bracket, is you're almost kind of rooting against them because you're expecting them to make it to the end. You're expecting them to be in the final 2. You're expecting them to make it through, like, very easily. That it's like, well, now I want these other bitches to, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I'm going to feel. So who do I expect to make it through? Silky, obviously. I think that Crystal Method, I don't see how she doesn't make it through. And in that third spot, I would love for it to be Selena Estidis. I think she is so much fun. I think she's such good TV. I think she would add so much to that second round just to have her there. And I think it would be such a comeback for her. So those are the three that I'm expecting. But I would love for, an April or an Aura or a Vivacious to really come back and have like an Irene moment and just like kill it. So that is the second bracket. Moving into the final bracket, I will say this is the bracket I'm kind of least excited for, and we can talk about why after we go through them all. First up in bracket 3, we have Hershey Liqueur Jeté, all the way from season 16. And I don't know. I really liked Hershey's personality. I think Hershey's personality was fantastic. I think that when it came to the runways and things like that, she didn't excel. Obviously, she was the first out. I don't know. I'm like in the middle. Like there are other first outs that I would rather see back before Hershey, like a Kelly Mantle, like a Tempest du Jour, like a Layla McQueen. You know what I mean? So like, am I happy for Hershey? Yeah, I'm happy for her, and I'm excited to see her back on my screen. But if I had to pick a first out to come back, I don't think Hershey would be at the top of my list, especially because she has just been on, and there are still first outs from like those earlier seasons that I think still deserve a second chance. So, like, if Hershey came back on All Stars 13 or whatever, like, I'd be like, yeah, slay, love it. But I can't say that I'm like, woo, Hershey Liqueur Jeté. I will say she has a wonderful story. She is a wonderful human. She has a wonderful personality, and I think that is all going to shine. The question is, will she be able to step up to the challenges? And unfortunately, I just foresee her getting lost in the shuffle with the people that are in this bracket. I think there's two people that are clearly going to be lost in the shuffle, and I think it's unfortunate for them, and Hershey is one of those people. The second person in this bracket is Jasmine Kennedy. I had her in my cast, and I am so excited to see her back here. She is just incredible television. She is like the perfect amount of delusional. She will call a bitch out. She will be annoying. And she will just be her full self. And that is all I want to see. We saw her go through such a transformation on her season. You know, she came out as trans on the season. We saw her style really evolve in the time since her season. You know, she was very old school pageanty drag, and now she's really modernized her drag, and I think she looks way younger, and she actually looks her age in drag now. I think she's gonna bring so much to the table. She is one of the best performers we've ever had on this main stage. We saw her, on All Stars 8 be a lip sync assassin and absolutely kill it. I just feel like, why would you not have Jasmine Kennedy on as many times as humanly possible? Because she is that good at TV. I think she's going to ruffle some feathers. I think she's going to kill some performance challenges. And I feel like now that she has watched herself back, at least I hope that she knows how to be funny. Like, she's naturally really funny. But in these comedy challenges, she was just like not funny at all, like every time. So I hope that now that she's able to see what people liked about her, what people found funny about her, that she can utilize that in any comedy challenges that she has to do. But I think for look challenges, for performance challenges, she's got it down. I see her moving forward. I see her being a huge presence, a huge fan favorite, and she's just so much fun to watch. So I think this is a perfect pick to have back. Up next, we have the other queen that I see just kind of getting overlooked and kind of lost in the shuffle in this bracket, and it is Joey J, the first gay queen to be on this show from season 13. She was second out. She was kind of like, I don't know, she had kind of a weird storyline. She was really hot. She is really hot in and out of drag, so that's great. But she comes in with the entrance line, filler queen, and it's like, why would you do that to yourself? You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, it just kind of set her up for failure from the jump. So I hope that she comes in and like has an entrance line that's like top 4 or something like that. Like, that'd be really funny to me. But I I don't know, Joey doesn't have the biggest personality. Joey doesn't have the biggest drag. Joey doesn't have the biggest, like, anything. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know about that, but we'll see if she drops the OnlyFans. But I think that in this group, when there are so many big personalities, I see Joey not thriving. As much as I would love to see someone like Joey come back and just kill it, because she does have amazing looks, she does have amazing drag. I just think with the group that she is in, I just don't see her killing it, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, Joey. I'm so sorry, Joey fans. I love her so much, but like, that is just how I feel. So I hope she proves me wrong. I would love for her to prove me wrong. Up next, we have another queen that I think is going to be there's going to be lots of conversation, let's say, around her return, as this will also be her 4th time back. And it is Kennedy Davenport from Season 7, All-Stars 3, and Canada versus the World 2. Similarly to Ginger, similarly to Silky, she has made the finale twice, but has lost both times. And similarly to Silky and Ginger, I feel like Kennedy's storyline is over. She has basically the same storyline as Ginger and Silky, where her first season she did exceptionally well, but was heavily disliked. Her second season she did not do as well, but was kind of liked a little bit more. And then her third season, she killed it again and was beloved by the fandom. So, like, I feel like that's the storyline. And I feel like the only reason you would bring Kennedy back is to crown her, which is the exact same thing I said about Silky. And I just, like, why would you not save Kennedy for Legends? Like, I just feel like there's so many early outs on this cast. There's so many queens that did not do well at Drag Race their first time. So having 2 queens here who are like Drag Race icons, who have already like put themselves in the pantheon of the best of the best of the show, putting them in this group, I just feel like is unfair to the rest of them, if I'm just being so honest. You know, I miss the days where everyone felt like they were at least sort of on the same playing field. But even like seasons like All-Star 6, you know, you had queens like Jada Sophia who had done really well at Drag Race but went home early, and queens like Kylie who didn't do well but made it to the end. But I feel like we're past that time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Drag Race wants to make stars. Drag Race wants to make icons. Drag Race wants to make queens who are going to go out into the world and do a bunch of stuff and make great press for the show. And that's what these last couple All-Stars have felt like. That's like what it felt like with Jimbo. That's what it felt like with Jinx. That's what it felt like with Angie. And that's what it's feeling like with Ginger on All-Stars 10. And I just see that same kind of storyline happening here with Silky and with Kennedy. So, like, don't get me wrong, I love Kennedy so much. She and Lemon were my top 2. But, like, she was just on. Like, she was just on. Like, what more can she show? What more can Kennedy show? If All-Stars 15 is a Legend season, I want Kennedy on that cast and I want Silky on that cast. This cast, though, I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Love you, Kennedy Boots. I just don't see it. Up next, from season 17, our second queen to come right on after their season, we have Sham Star. And I feel like Sam is kind of a weird choice. Like, I think that she's someone that didn't really need to grow much. I feel like she showed that she's great at looks, she's great at performing, she's great at comedy. She is the full package. So coming straight back, I see why she did it, because, like, the only thing she really has left to do is win. But I feel like the fandom was kind of lukewarm on Sam. I don't think they disliked her. I don't think they lived for her. I think the fandom was kind of like, she's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people rode super hard for Lexi, super hard for Anya, super hard for Jules, and no one was really like, oh, Sam is my winner pick. So I honestly think Sam should have spent maybe 2 years going on the podcast, going on the pit stop, you know, going on the tours, and really just, like, garnering some more goodwill before coming back to an All-Stars. Because, like, unlike some of these queens where, like, they do need to improve on things, you know, aspects of the show, like comedy or performance, whatever, like, Sam has that down on lock. She just needs fan support. And I feel like coming back so quickly and not really like, we still don't really know Sam outside of the show. Like, I just don't know if the fans are going to be like rooting for her like they would be if she waited 2 more years. So I see Sam doing super well. I just see people rooting for other queens on this cast harder. You know what I mean? I see people rooting for Silky. I see people rooting for Crystal. I see people rooting for Jasmine. I see people rooting for Morphine. Dawn, even. I don't know if Sam is going to be in that like upper tier level of queens that people are like, Sam needs to win All Stars 11. And I'm not sure production would either. So I do think that she should have waited, but I think that she will have a lot to bring to this season. So I'm not unhappy to see her. I like Sam Starr. I'm just not sure if this was the right move for her, if I'm being 100% honest. Last up, our 18th queen on this cast is someone who I really love. She was on the short list for my cast, and I just think she is a wonderful queen who deserves another chance, who was robbed on her season, and a lot of people have been wanting back, and it is Sugar Cane. If you talk about like the top 5 most robbed queens from this show, Sugar Cane would be on that list because she had no business being in the bottom and going home when she did on season 11. She was kind of, so she's an older queen. She was 40, I believe, on her season, which 40 isn't old. 40 is not old, but for casting of Drag Race, it's a little on the older side when everyone is usually 21 to like 27. And I feel like she didn't really have a perspective. Like, I feel like every Sugar Cane runway was completely different. Like, if you had to say, like, what is Sugar Cane's brand? I don't think you could say. I don't think you could specify at all. And I'm not sure that that's changed since. I feel like she does lean a lot into her culture, which is great, but then sometimes she just wears like a regular like drag outfit. Like I don't know who Sugar Cane is as a queen still. And I feel like this is a great opportunity for Sugar to really brand herself, to really show what the Sugar Cane brand is. And I feel like that's the only thing holding her back from kind of like this upper echelon of queens from the show. You know, like when you think of Silky, when you think of Crystal, when you think of Kennedy, like you know what to expect with their drag. But I feel like Sugar could come out in basically anything on this season, and people would be like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't think that Sugar has that brand. So I would love for that to be what she brings to this season because she can perform, she can lip sync, she has had wonderful looks, she's also had horrible looks on her season, and she's shown that she can be funny as well. I think she also struggled a bit to stand out. So I would love for her to assert herself. I would love for her to stand proudly as Sugar Cane. She does have one of the greatest looks of all time with her aubergine gown. That's one of RuPaul's favorite looks. I think it is stunning. So Sugar Cane is kind of a question mark for me. I think she does deserve this second chance because I think she could have made it maybe one episode further on her season. I don't think she deserved to go home when she did, so I think that second chance is deserved. I don't know what she's going to do with that second chance, and that's kind of exciting. You know, there's some queens where like I can kind of guess what they might bring. And Sugar Cane is the exact opposite. I don't know what looks she's going to bring. I don't know how she's going to do. I don't know how she's going to fit in. Will she play strategically? Will she not play strategically? I have no idea. So I find that really exciting. And I am so happy that she finally has her time back on this show because it is well deserved. So looking at this group, the reason that I am not excited for this group is because I don't think that there's that much chemistry. Like no one is from the same season. No one is from the same season. I'm not sure who would know who. I guess that Jasmine and Kennedy probably know each other. I think they both did Drag Race Live together. I don't know what the connections would be. I don't know what the storylines would be. So I don't have the highest expectations for like story arcs. And I feel like there's a very clear top 3 queens here. I think of all of the groups, this one has the clearest top 3 with Jasmine, Kennedy, and Sam. So I feel like I fear that this one might have like the third bracket curse like we had with the third bracket in All Stars 10. I hope they prove me wrong because I do think that there are some queens here that have the potential to make good TV. I think Jasmine, I think Kennedy, I think Sam, the three that I also mentioned as the three that are probably moving on. But then you have some really like kind of smaller personalities that I don't see being strategic, that I don't see wanting to play the game, that I don't see being cutthroat, in Suga and Joey and Hershey. So I feel like this one is my least favorite because I kind of can guess how it's gonna go. And I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that things get crazy. I hope that, these queens change my expectations. But looking at this cast as a whole now, I do actually think the first group is the one I'm most excited for because I feel like it just has the most amount of wild cards and it has the least amount of queens that are like in my head 100% going through. Like bracket 2, I would be shocked if Crystal and Silky didn't go through. I would be shocked if Jasmine and Kennedy and Sam don't go through in bracket 3. But like in bracket 1, like I could kind of see most of them going through. There's not a clear front runner. Even Akira, who probably would be that front runner, hasn't really been liked by production. So, like, I just feel like that is the most, like, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I like all the queens, and I feel like they can bring some really good TV, and I feel like that's probably going to be the most strategic bracket. I mean, this is very similar to All Stars 10, where looking at the brackets, I was most excited for bracket 1. Bracket 1 was the obviously clear best to me for TV. Bracket 2, I'm excited for, but I think it's a little bit like more clear what's going to happen. That's exactly what happened in bracket 2 and All Stars 10. And bracket 3, I just see kind of not delivering as hard. So we'll see what happens. These are just my predictions. I could be 1,000,000% wrong. But let me know what you think, who you are most excited for from this cast, and who you think is the most controversial pick on this cast. We have like a whole year before we see this. All Stars 10 isn't even over. So we're far, far away from even seeing what's going to happen. But I thought it would be just fun to break it down and kind of give some predictions and my thoughts overall. So thank you all so much for watching today. The links to all of my social media are in the description down below. And if you haven't been following our Drag Duel account, we have dropped a little teaser, a little nugget of season 3. As you can see, the production quality is skyrocketing. So make sure you are following and supporting Drag Duel. Also, reminder, please no spoilers in the comments. You're not cool because you see spoilers. Anybody can go on Reddit and look at the spoilers. It does not make you the coolest person to live, and it doesn't make you any better than anybody else. So if people want to go talk about spoilers and see them for themselves, they will go do it. They don't need to see them in the comment section of a video where they're not expecting or wanting them. So I will be deleting anything that has to do with spoilers. Don't even try it. Let people enjoy the show in the way that they want to. But that is all for today. I will catch all of you in the next one.